programming with C++. This is lecture 2. And the topic is types and declarations. So our objective is to introduce to the C++ types, that's the data types. And examples are the boolean, character, floating point, double, etc. So now our objective is to introduce to declarations, initialization, the multiple name, scope, etc. So data types, it refers to a set of values together with a set of operators. So examples are the float, integer, boolean, character, string, etc. So categories of data types, we have four. One is integral type, two is the integral and floating point types, enumeration and classes, fundamental types, pointers and references. Yes. So we move on to the data set. So the data set specifies the range of values a data type is composed of. So for example, let's say integer. So the data set for your integer is whole numbers. So it specifies the range of values the data type is composed of. So integer is composed of whole numbers. Then character is like character, yeah. Then for floating point, we have float. That's decimal numbers with single precision. So it uses 32-bit word. So the single precision means that it uses 32-bit word to represent a decimal number. Then the double precision, it uses 64-bit word to represent a decimal number. So for character, it's letters, numbers, and symbols. Boolean is true or false. The true or false are the logical values. String is sequence of characters, so you can say combination of characters. Now data size. The data size specifies the amount of memory of data is allocated in a data type. So we use the size of keyword to determine the size of the data type. So the data size for integer, it uses 4 bytes. Floating point, that's float, uses 4 bytes. Double uses 8 bytes. Character 1 byte. Boolean uses 1 byte. String uses 32 bytes. So now integers, they are positive integers, do not have plus sign in front of them. So as for the negative, you see the sign in front of them. So you can't say plus 78 or plus 2. Now just 78 or 2. Don't have the positive sign in front of them. So no comments are used within an integer. So you can't say 78, 9, 10. No, it's not allowed for integers. But comments are used for separating items in a list. So this an example of integer type. So int is for integer. So int is a data type. Then x is a variable name. The equal to is the assignment operator. 25 is the value. The semicolon is the termination operator. So this how to for int data type. So for float, as I said earlier, floating point numbers, we have float, double, float is single precision. That means it uses 32-bit word to represent a decimal number. Double precision uses 64-bit word to represent a decimal number. So this is how it is float. So for float, the decimal numbers is the maximum of it is 6 or 7. Yeah, so this is how to declare initialize for float data type. So the float, the amount, the variable name, assignment operator, the value you terminate. So for double, the same thing, the double, the variable name. So the double is the data type, the salary is the variable name, the equal to the assignment operator, then your value. So now Boolean types. So Boolean types it's used to express result of logical operation. So it's known as bool, that's short bool. So it has two values. So the two values are the logical values. So that's true and false. The true is 1, the false is 0. You can see the true is yes or the false is no. So this is how to present bool. So this, for example, bool is the data type, training is the name, let's say the variable name, then equals the assignment operator, then true, then you terminate. In this case, true will be 1, the output will be 1. Suppose it was false, it will be 0, the output will be 0. Yes. So now let's move to character types. So each character is enclosed in a single quote. Let's say A. You don't just write A, but you enclose in a single quote. So then in character, the data type or the short is CHAR. Yeah, that's for character. Now a blank space is a character and it's written as, you just write your single quotes, yeah, with space between the single quotes. So for example, this character, the short is CHAR. That's the data type. The gender is the variable name, or you can say, let's say, identifier. The equals the assignment operator. Then this how to enclose in a, with a single quotation. That's, yes, it's a character. So then string is a sequence of like characters. It's enclosed in a double quotation, and each character has a relative position in a string. So this example, string name equals into a double quotation mark, that's Amma. Yes. So the relative position in a string you're talking about is the first letter. Let's say Amma, for example, the first letter for Amma. The A is 0, the M is 1, the A is 2. That's the relative position. Like it's about. So void signifies absence of information, can be used only as part of more complicated type, most used in functions. So this is an example of the void. See void as it terminates. So let's move on. Sign and unsigned. So both are types modified. The sign has positive values and negative values, but the unsigned is for only positive and zero like values. Yes. So like for example is sign int x, because sign is for positive and negative. So eh, this is a value, because the value then you terminate. So you can say sign int x equals negative this. It's also allowed because sign is positive and negative value. But the unsigned is only positive and zero values. So unsigned int x equals the value. So therefore the unsigned, you can't say unsigned equals, or let's say unsigned int x equals negative this. Now it's wrong. But the unsigned is, it deals with positive values and zeros. So this the fundamental types. Now I have pointers, arrays, reference type, and user defined types, data structures and classes, enumeration. As time goes on, you explain further. Then declaring multiple names. Yes, it's used to declare several names in a single declaration. So the declaration uses comma for separation, mostly done for similar data types. So for example, if you are giving work that maybe you are giving x, y, then z. Maybe if you write int x, then you go to the next line int y, go to the next line int z, yes. It will be complicated. So you want it to be in one line. So you can say that int x, comma y, comma z. Yes, then you terminate. Don't forget the termination sign. That's very important. So scope. Scope is a region in the code of the code that is where variable, identifier, or functions are declared and accessible. So we have types, that's the local scope, global scope, class scope, namespace scope, statement scope. Yes, so this is scope. So the int main The main is a function in every C++ program. So it's defined outside the main, outside the function. So that's the global scope. Within the function is the local scope. So that's what declaration. A variable or identifier must be declared before using a C++ program. So to declare a variable, let's say character, for example, so character ch, comma, you declared. Yes. String s you declared, then termination you declared. Yes. As time goes on, we learn more about the constant. But constant is a memory, a named memory location which its content has not changed during execution. That's the meaning of constant. So this numbers, the pi, is going to be constant to never change during execution. So the declaration example is the string s. So initialize is assigning values to the declared variable. So here's something like this. Initialize. So this int age equals 25. You've declared the initialized value to the age. It terminates. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.